Your own modification of those. You can add some things to it, but that's the place to add it, down here where optional goes. All right. This is how you can get the best out of whatever healing modality you've been using before, and you can learn a lot too, because Kathara Healing will teach you as you go along. You will start to learn more technique will come to you. Techniques that nobody taught you out there. Your mentor will find some. If you want to know how to fix a particular thing, send your mentor on a journey. Do the mentor exercise, and then say to that part of the consciousness, please go wherever this information is and bring it back for me. Schedule an appointment with your mentor where you're going to listen and ask if anything came in, like an email. Okay? Yes?
What about with the Drasana energy system?
The what?
Drasana?
I've not heard of it.
Drasana, it's Irving Fierce.
I haven't heard of it. There's so many out there at this point. And what's important is Reiki is the one that, I've met a million Reiki masters, I think. They all come to Kathara for some reason. It's amazing. You know? And that's great. But I don't know all the different, the healing systems. Just use them all with Maharic frequency. And if there's any step in any of them that says call in so-and-so, that's the step you omit, okay? Because that's the step where you're calling in implant central. With most of them, okay? You're calling in the implant, the guy with the implant gun comes in. When they say, hail this one, tell them to come in and help us facilitate this healing. The only person you should, call in is your Christos self and their Christos self and source directly. All right, so any other system can be used. There's nothing, any codes or anything you put into somebody's system is not going to hurt them if it's run through the D12 frequency. Now, right now, the only thing, there's an exception to this, and this is D3 substances. This doesn't mean go and give your like one of your clients something that's poisonous and expect the D12 frequency to transmute it right away. All right? We're only running subharmonics right now, so there wouldn't be enough to do that, so you could poison somebody, so far. Once the frequencies get stronger in the planetary grids, you would actually be able to transmute those kind of things. Okay. Yes, what time are we on?
20 to 5.
20 to 5. Okay. Which... Well,
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
You want to do that and do the thing when we get back instead then? The 45-minute one?
No, well, it depends how long it takes to go ordinations.
Oh, it'll take me 5 minutes on ordinations. Okay.
I'll do it.
You're still going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're debating here as far as one technique from Kathara 2. I'm going to introduce Kathara 2 when we get back from our dinner break, but there's one technique in Kathara 2. This is the killer technique that I told you about, that you only have to run once, but your Vecca codes won't work or activate fully if you don't run it at least once. It's the Master's Kundalini exercise. This thing, if you guys are still awake by the end of it, bless you. There's a lot of steps to it. But again, as we'll read it, and just follow the steps as best you can. If you start to fall asleep, that's okay. You'll pick it up in the D4 level. Your consciousness is actually still following it. So you're doing the process. It will happen. There's also a lot of grid support with the group. So we're gonna I think run that before. Yes?
If you have another client waiting after this client, are you still going through this process and then start at the beginning again?
You mean, do you use the closing process where you clear your fields? Yes, you should. Yes, because what if you had picked something up and you didn't know it, you'll transfer it to the next client. So at the end of every session, you really should, just even a quick one, just run a quick, liquid light cleanse on yourself.
So you don't need to start completely at the beginning when you engage the second client or the third client. You're just doing this completion and then starting with them at the client phase portions.
Yeah, you don't have to activate your Triadic Phase Current if it's already running, but you do need to clean it up at the end, just so you don't transfer anything you didn't know was there. Yeah, okay. Okay, and two things we were going to do, if you don't mind, before. Now, okay, do you think we should let them choose on this? We know what we're going to do. We're going to not give them a choice on this. Okay. All right. The choice is that this process takes how long?
About 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes. That's 40 minutes of concentrating and running energy and putting it here and then moving it there. Okay, it would be better if we could do it now. I don't want to exhaust you, so I guess I said don't give them a choice. We've got to do it. We're going to do that now. When we do our dinner break, it's going to work this way. I'm going to talk, before we do this long one, I'm going to talk just for about 5 minutes on Melchizedek ordinations. All right, now what they are, so you know what they are, so you have an idea of whether you're interested in them or not. We're probably going to do them when we get back, okay? There'll be, and I think we're going to do these through indirect induction if there's a lot of people. It depends on how many people. All right, so I'll just explain a little bit of what they're about. We were asked to wait until your Triadic Phase Currents shut down before we do ordinations. We were planning to do them before the dinner break, but with the Triadic running as high as it is, because we did that a bit later, we're not supposed to. You need to calm down your Triadic current, because Melchizedek ordinations, they're not just some label that gives you an identity within a temple. Okay, it wouldn't matter if Azurite Temple existed as a physical entity or not. Melchizedek cloister ordinations, first of all, are different than Melchizedek ordinations that are roaming around on the planet right now, because the only group of cloisters that are on the planet right now are the Emerald Order ones that are working through us. We were the first speakers of them, and there's whole bunches of us that haven't awakened yet, but we're just beginning. Now, the Templar Melchizedeks are the Anunnaki Melchizedeks. All right, they have worked with the system for about 20 years or so, and they are transmitting. For a while there, they were working the Emerald Covenant Christos agenda because they didn't have much choice. When they broke that agenda, they are now transmitting reverse currents, most of them. Some of them don't know it. People who have been ordained particularly after September of 2000, by any Melchizedek, as opposed to a Melchizedek cloister minister, are people who very, very possibly have gotten reverse current transmitted into their DNA template from that. Now, ordinations on both sides are transmissions of frequency. There's a purpose for them. And there's two purposes. There's two advantages to receiving ordinations. One advantage is that it will expedite whatever processes of DNA you're working with. It will expedite those processes. Now, when you get a transmission, what you do in an ordination is you're getting a transmission of frequency from the minister who's ordaining you. Now, wherever that minister's DNA is going to determine what kind of ordination the minister can give. At this point, we are permitted on surface Earth to give levels 1, 2, and then 3. 3 is regent. 3 is very high. That is the density 4 transmission. The purpose of the ordinations is twofold. One, it expedites your own process because it begins the process of activating the fire codes between the DNA strands to accelerate strand braiding. Now, we're already doing other processes for that. It also resets a clear template of the 12-strand template. If you happen to be born, and you can be a human or an indigo that was born where something was wrong with the genetic code on the parent side, that you didn't get the full encoding of the 12-strand pattern. You might have like half a strand 7 missing. You're not going to be able to fully run frequencies, and it's going to block your 7th subharmonic on the rest of them. So level 1 ordination, what that does is transmit the 12-strand pattern. So you've got the frequency grid there, and it'll fill in any holes that you might have had. Level 2 begins a more rapid acceleration of that, or activation of that. That would be acceleration of strands 4, 5, and 6. It accelerates the soul integration process, which you have to go through before you get your avatar in. You have to become an embodied soul first. Level 3 is a regent ordination, and that's activation of your galactic contract. We all came in as avatars with a reason for being in this time matrix that had to do, we were part of a team. All of us were part of a team. And that information is stored within the avatar level of your matrix. Now, when we get the ordination for level 3, the other two, those currents will shut down if you decide you don't want to be affiliated with it and you don't want to talk to your Christos self anymore and all that. It's not going to bother you. But level 3 ordination is running enough frequency that your avatar level is going to send a beam of liquid hydroplasmic light, pale silver light, down and anchor it in the first of the first 8 cells in the base of the spine. What that does is create an open conduit of D12 frequency that cannot be closed once it's open. Now, this is good if you know you want to stay on the Christos path. If you know you want to integrate your higher parts, that this is the fastest way to go. Because it means that when you're working with activating your 12-strand current, with your D12 current, you will always at that point have a little stream of it running through the main vertical current, where it would be quite a while of activating and doing critical mass activation of the Maharic shield before you would get that organically. What the minister's purpose is simply to serve as the grounding field. The minister it's not the minister's energy that is transmitting or activating you. The minister serves as a vessel through which your avatar, the minister agrees to allow your avatar level to send down the frequency and just transmits it. So the minister is just a conduit. There's no linking in the biofields, and there's no implanting when you're doing cloister anyway. Now, this process has been abused for eons by the Melchizedek races. There's a lot of Melchizedek races, and when we get into the Templar workshop, you'll find out just why there are Anunnaki Melchizedek races. It has to do with a group called the Leviathan that were created. It was a hybridization program that was done in Atlantis. So there are things called Anu Melchizedeks. Melchizedek is really a name that it's the tonal signature of the primal sound fields that correspond to our time matrix. So it is literally the name of the Ascended Master complex. It's not just one being. You hear these people talk about Lord Melchizedek running around. There's that word again, Lord Melchizedek. Lord Melchizedek is an Anunnaki hijack program, excuse me. Okay? We're not these guys. And we are the only ones right now speaking about the differences. We're also the only ones telling you exactly what's happening in a Melchizedek ordination, what it means, what the benefits are. We're the only ones explaining the whole anatomy to you. So when we explain about an ordination, you have an idea of what that might mean, because you know what chakras are, and you know what templates are, and you know what it means to transmit frequency by the time we explain it to you. So it's an option that if you want it, it's available. They're always done free of charge, at least by the cloister. I don't know what the other guys do. But they're simply us saying we appreciate so much the positions that we're in as ministers that we are willing to be in service whenever we're asked to from the avatars of other people who would like to have the same privileges that we do, because we consider being ministers a privilege. We consider having access to the knowledge that we've been entrusted with a huge privilege that we're very, very grateful for. Now, what's also nice about being a minister is if you get ordained at level 2, you are capable of ordaining level 1. If you get ordained at level 3, you're capable of ordaining level 2. So you can also pass on the gift to others if you so choose. You can also work as a legitimate minister of the Azurite Temple. I mean, we are a legitimate temple right now. So far, the government hasn't been hassling us or anything. And, we do everything above the board. And so as long as that's there, it's also, you would get an ordination certificate, which means you would be considered legally, if you wanted to be, a minister. I don't know what that means here, and I don't know what the laws are in Canada about that. But we are a recognized temple and, an official church with the stuff and all of that stuff in the States. Now, it doesn't matter. If Azurite Temple paperwork, got burned up in smoke and the government decided they didn't like us because we teach holistic healing, it wouldn't matter. Azurite Temple has been around for millions and millions of years. Originally, their first one was on Tara, and they were the Founders Race Teachings. It was a group of beings called the Azurites, who were the original guardian group here before the humans came in as the backup team. And then this is like millions and billions of years ago. But the first Azurite temple was, I believe, about 560, I think it was, 50 or 60 million years ago on Tara. And it was the Founders Races. They're connected to races from Sirius B that are called the Azurites. They're blue human-like people. You have Maharaji blue humans, and you have Azurites who are even more blue hominid people. These were the original ones that work with the Founders races and the Orpheum human and Indigo races. They're an indigo strain, in fact. So this is what it's affiliated with. You can take it or leave it. It's nothing that's required, but it has some advantages. The level 3 ordination, you have to get the other 2 before you can handle the frequencies of the level 3 one. That has some advantages because if that much frequency went loose in your system all at once without some assistance from your Rishik level, it would throw your Merkabas out of whack. So your Rishi level actually agrees to take part of the karmic imprint and transmute it up there. So it actually transmutes some of your miasmic body up into density 5, where it's taken care of there about 2 years worth. So we don't have, like your karmic crash, because everything's moving so fast in your system that throws all your miasm out at once. It won't do that. It's an option, and we'll, if you'd like them, we'll do them when we get back, right? Yeah, okay. And if you won't, that's okay too.
What I suggest is if there are people who don't want to get back, whatever return time we set.
Okay.
Like say people are coming back, for example, at 6:30.
Okay.
The people who are going to receive ordinations be back, and we'll do them at 6:30. The other people can come back 15 minutes later or something. if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, we could do it that way, that when we get back from our dinner break, that, like, I'm not sure exactly what time we're going, but it's going to be an hour and a half when we go, okay, whenever we get out here after we finish this exercise. But the people who want to do ordination, if you're interested in doing that, come back at the time that we say, like the hour and a half point, okay? Like if it was 6:30, come back at 6:30. Other people who don't want to participate in the ordination thing, that's okay. Just, wait about 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes more before you have to be back, because we'll do those in that 15 minutes. And that way, you don't have to sit and be bored, while if you don't want to be part of the ordination program. It doesn't take long. You don't get zapped or whammied or anything. There's a value take to yourself and to your own Christos, not to us. You have no obligation to us whatsoever. We are simply doing a favor to Source by serving in this role, and that's really the heart that we do it in. So if you went on to ordain, we would, you would be expected by the founders and by Source to do it in that same loving and no strings kind of light. Yes?
If you don't do it this week, can you do it next weekend?
Yeah, we will do them next weekend too.
Yes, but not all
Yes,
the
but
way
not.
through to 3. Because there has to be a gap between doing 1 and 2 and then 3.
We're not doing 3 next weekend?
Well, we are doing 3.
Yeah, we're doing 3 next weekend.
I heard the question as, if I don't do level 1 and 2 tonight, can I do it all next weekend? And
Well, I thought
the answer to the question is that there won't be the interval of time between doing 1 and 2.
We have to do 1 and 2. There's people coming that aren't here that might want
But
it.
they've already been ordained level 1 and 2. They've all done Kathara.
Are you sure all of them have?
Pretty sure
I think
they
some of them are correspondence course people. I always leave time on both ends. Yeah, we'll have to do it Friday for those guys.
I've got one level 1 and 2 appointment on Friday afternoon anyway.
Okay.
And I'll be doing level 1 and 2 ordination on Friday at the hotel.
Friday afternoon? Next Friday afternoon at the hotel. Okay. That was another thing. I told you that person was going to come up. Okay. All right, for people who want level 3, is this what you're referring to? Okay, because I don't think I explained it yet. Level 1 and 2 can be done together, but you need a bit of time before level 3 is done. Ideally, we were going to do level 3 next weekend at the temple, I think, but not everybody's coming there, and if somebody wants level 3, there's supposed to be a day in between, just to let your body adjust to the frequencies. And we have to see what we're going to do with this, because I had a feeling there might be a few people that were going to fit into that. I'll probably have a better answer by this evening, because we can discuss that more over dinner. But for now, you can do level 1 and 2. As far as the question about can you do level 1 and 2 next week, Friday, but it's not going to be at the workshop. It's Friday afternoon at the hotel. I guess we're going to, Az has said that he has some appointments for doing that then. So it would be available Friday afternoon. Okay?
Will you do level 3 today, or is that?
No, we're going to do levels 1 and 2.
we can't do.
I'm afraid if we do all that to you guys in one day after we're doing this Kirashe sequence here, you're going to explode. It's a lot of frequency to go from running none to running all this, right? Yeah, we're getting on. Okay, I think we got... Oh, she had one more question. Yes?
In terms of flying out, so I have to leave at 5:45. So if anyone needs to get ordained earlier, is that a possibility?
She has to leave at 5:45.
No.
I mean, telling us at 5 o'clock when we're about to do a group.
And you're not coming for next week, huh? Because I don't know. If we start... If we do it now, we're not going to get through this thing that we have to do. And honestly, I can't run an ordination right now. I have to sit down for a little while and clear my fields and get myself a little stronger, because it's a lot of frequency when you run these, and it makes you tired. And if you start out when you're tired, you don't run a very good ordination. So I could probably tell you what you wanted to hear and say, yeah, we do it now, but it wouldn't be the quality that we're known for, especially up there. And I won't compromise that. So we'll try to, I don't know what to tell you if you have to leave that early, other than the fact that we can try to get to you hopefully we can connect again at some point. But we can't run them right now. All right, we're just too drained from this. And we can see what we can do with that as the universe moves us forward. And okay, we're going to get ready before it's too late. I'm going to stop talking now. I am. I'm going to stop talking now. Okay, Az is going to run the Kirashe activation sequence, yes?
The introduction to it.
Okay, there's an introduction that goes with this, so we have some idea of what it's about. It includes several steps. There were a bunch of techniques that were separate, given to us separately, and they built on each other, and then they were all put together into something called the Key-Richet activation sequence. It begins the activation of the rainbow ray, which is the primal light fields and the primal sound field currents. It begins to activate them as subharmonics within the body template. You're not going to transmit them yet, but it's beginning the process. This process was given to us so people could run rainbow roundtables, which are the Stargate mechanics, but it also expedites the entire process of DNA template clearing and everything else we're working on. So
we say there are 5 groups of involvement that really do provide the most accelerated progression that anybody could ever follow. Okay? The Emerald and Amethyst Awakening, which we're about to do together, is one of them. Another of them is referred to as the Tribal Shield Activation. And you will get sufficient technique detail in the material that you're going to receive before we finish tonight that will show you how you do that, whether or not you come to the round table, because we're moving into advanced planetary, Merkaba, and Templar mechanics when we begin to talk in this language of tribal shield and stuff. But there are techniques coming into the Kathara material that you'll get tonight before you go, so that by not coming to the round table, you will at least receive the techniques that the other guys will get next weekend with more explanation, but you'll have the techniques to use, all right? The third area we refer to as the Bio-Regenesis techniques. Kathara is one. Tangible structure is the other plank in the platform. The 2 foundation teachings that provide you with the accelerated Bio-Regenesis understanding, all right, the stuff you can't skip, is tangible structure of the soul, some of which you've been taught verbally this weekend, the techniques you haven't heard anything about, and they're part of the course product which is over there. The other is Kathara. The 4th area we refer to as the master key codes. These are given very, very occasionally, and they're given only during private readings. But they are being, in a sense, surpassed now by the introduction of the high Vecca codes. I wouldn't say they're different. Both kinds of things are very powerful. One set are highly personalized Christic that relate to your own Christos identity. They are symbol codes that are just for you and nobody else. Whereas the Vecca codes are for common use and are very, very powerful, both in a universal and cosmic sense. And that will come up tonight. And the 5th and final one is the Melchizedek Level 3 ordination. All right? That is the group of activities. If you want to focus your energy and your time on really activating, bottom line, your 12-strand or more DNA, those are the areas that you concentrate on. Okay? Right. House rules are that we actually read, because it's quite complex, the introduction to the Emerald and Amethyst Awakening, so you actually understand what it is you're about to do. It's fairly complicated, so please bear with me, and it's 2 or 3 pages long too. But we have to follow the guidelines we have from the Guardians. So here we go. The beginning. You're not going to go into meditative space yet. Just listen. The Emerald and Amethyst Awakenings, Masters Kundalini DNA Template Activations for Accelerated DNA Template Activation and Spiritual Integration. Essential preparation for running Kundalini Rainbow Roundtables and enhancing your immune support systems. The Kundalini Life Currents and the Cranial Sacral Seals. The human body is fueled by energetic life force current from source. In contemporary human anatomy, the only life force currents running fully through the embodied Kathara grid and body are those corresponding to the single vector time cycle of the density 1 telluric shield. Each of the 4 Hoover bodies and their corresponding scalar shields, DNA strand templates, axiotonal lines, dimensions of consciousness and Merkaba fields process the frequencies of one triadic current, a 3-dimensional bipolar life force current. The life force currents corresponding to the first 9 dimensions and the first 3 Hoover bodies, matter densities and shields are referred to as the Kundalini energies, as you've heard. Each Kundalini current is a triadic current, a set of 3-dimensional currents that function together and are separated by magnetic repulsion zones within the embodied Kathara grid. The 3 embodied Kundalini currents are the telluric, Triadic, and Triadic currents. Each of the 3 Kundalini currents is spiraled within the regions of the first 8 cells of human conception, which are located in the tailbone at the base of the spine. This is where the incarnating consciousness anchors its identity and Christos manifestation template. The first Kundalini current, the telluric current that corresponds to density 1 Nada Hoover body, is active within the human form from birth, enabling 3 dimensions of conscious awareness in the form of scalar frequency to embody within the human organism. When the 2 dormant Kundalini currents in the tailbone, the Triadic and Triadic currents, are activated, the frequencies of consciousness from dimensions 4 to 9 progressively awaken, activating the dormant strands between 4 and 9 of the 12-strand DNA template. The 3 primary Kundalini spirals each contain 3 single-dimension currents and are controlled by the corresponding signet star crystal seals in the Kathara Level 2 crystal seals grid. The signet seals create polarization between dimensional sets of scalar waves within the scalar shields. When the cranial sacral seals are released, through activation of the signet star crystal seals that govern them, the dormant Kundalini currents come to life within the body, sending progressively higher frequency energy through the central vertical current of the body. Activation of the 3 Kundalini currents progressively creates integration of the higher dimensions of consciousness and de-densification of molecular structure. When all of the frequencies within the 3 embodied Kundalini currents are activated, the 4th Kundalini current, the primal triadic current, the Ki Rashe, is activated. The frequency seal on the Ki Rashe is located in the 12th chakra, 6 inches below the feet. Activation of the Ki Rashe anchors the 12th dimensional hydroplasmic beam within the body, initiating the process of cellular transmutation and intentional demanifestation and dimensional ascension of the human biological form. Now, the Emerald Awakening and the Ki Rashe. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation is one of 2 interharmonic energetic activations of previously dormant frequency within the body that sets in motion simultaneous activation of the 12 magnetic base tones within the fire codes between the 12 strands of the silicate matrix DNA template. Activation of the 12 fire code base tones begins activation of the 3 primal creation frequencies, the Ki Rashe, within the 4 scalar shields of the personal inner Templar complex. Activation of the 12 DNA fire codes allows for progressive natural fusion of each dimensional DNA strand template to occur, through which the organic potentials of cellular transmutation are reawakened within the physical body form. Through the natural processes of cellular transmutation, once fully operational within human genetic design, the carbon-based elemental biology of density 1 molecular structure is progressively and systematically transmuted to silica-based biology. Transmutation to silica-based biology allows the physical body to pass through the levels of semi-etheric, etheric, and pre-matter hydroplasmic liquid silica densities of harmonics 2 to 4, or dimensions 4 through 12, through which the consciousness continually enters manifestation to achieve physical mastery of the organic process of transmutational dimensional ascension. To accomplish mastery of the ascension process, the signet star crystal seals within the scalar shields, which keep the 12-dimensional frequency levels of the consciousness and molecular form phase-locked into dimensional division, must be released. Release of the signet star crystal seals allows the frequency spectra of the higher dimensional anatomy and the primal creation currents of the key rache to enter into the template for the physical body and dormant DNA fire code templates, progressively building the Merkaba vehicle and setting the cellular transmutation process in motion. The process of progressive transmutational dimensional ascension represents the function of the organic genetic design and evolutionary objective of the human creation blueprint, through which the natural, immortal, Christos angelic form of the human being is actualized. In the evolutionary cycles of contemporary humanity, actualization of the 12-strand DNA potential takes place very slowly in earthly terms, as the incarnate identity experiences in single lifetime vectors several cycles of density 1 incarnation, spanning many thousands of years, in order to progressively activate the DNA fire codes within the manifestation template. When the human genome was operating in its organic form, this process took place in one lifetime, over a period of about 44 years, as the immortal human incarnate matured to embody the 12 dimensions of consciousness within its original Christos manifestation template, the Maharic shield, actualizing its organic, angelic human heritage and mastery over 4 densities of manifestation within the time matrix. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation releases the density 2 4th dimensional green signet star crystal seal and the density 1 1st dimensional red signet star crystal seal to open the density 1 Nada Hoover body and telluric shield and density 2 Alphi Hoover body and Doradic shield to receive the omnipolar frequencies of 12th dimensional Maharic current from the pre-matter Christos template Maharic shield. Upon entering the telluric and Doradic shields, the 12th dimensional frequencies of the Maharic current trigger simultaneous activation of the base tones within the 12 fire codes of the DNA template, beginning the process of depolarization of the 12 strands and levels of consciousness within the human manifestation template. Progressive depolarization of the 12 levels of consciousness within the human manifestation template sets in motion the organic process of cellular transmutation and potential mastery over the transmutational dimensional ascension process. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation initiates regenesis of the original function of the human genome, releasing the base tones of the 3 key rache currents within the body as a result of opening of the 2 signet seals through which the physical body begins the carbon to silica transmutation process and is prepared to receive the higher dimensional overtone frequencies of the key rache to complete cellular transmutation via fusion and depolarization of the particle or particum and antiparticle particule aspects of the manifestation template. This is the natural process of unified field physics by which a human being becomes Christed. Now a few words on the Amethyst Awakening and the Kundare. The final step in fulfilling the potentials of original angelic human design lies in the activation of the overtone frequencies of the key rache, which allows fusion between DNA strand templates to complete on 12 dimensions of frequency. The final step in transmutational dimensional ascension is called the Amethyst Awakening Master's Kundalini activation. Through the Amethyst Awakening, the density 3 7th dimensional violet signet star crystal seal and 8th dimensional gold signet star crystal seal and the density 4 11th dimensional dark silver signet star crystal seal are released within the body scalar shield. Release of the overtone signet seals allows the overtones of the key rache creation currents to fuse with the base tones, bringing the 3 omnipolar creation currents, the primal creation currents built upon a trinity of tones, bipolar plus non-polar energy units. This brings them together as one primal non-polar current, which is called the Kundare, or otherwise the rainbow bridge, sometimes known as the rainbow serpent. The Kunda ray is the pre-luminal vibration or standing wave of internal sound emitted from one source, or from God, that corresponds to the combined original source current from which the three Kirashe primal life force currents of the three non-dimensionalized levels of the energy matrix beyond the 15-dimensional time matrix emerge. The Emerald Awakening Master's Kundalini activation and its resulting activation of the base tones of the Kirashe within the human body is the first step in manually expediting the natural process of transmutational dimensional ascension. Before the Emerald Awakening Kundalini activation can be orchestrated, the Maharic shield and the Ka must be brought out of dormancy within the human manifestation template. Once the 12th dimensional Maharic current is released within the embodied Kathara Grid, the Ka can be activated. The Ka refers to the four Huber bodies corresponding to dimensions 1 through 12. The Ka becomes activated through removal of 4 inorganic crystal seal implants that block the natural function of the 2nd, 3rd and 4th DNA strand templates. Following this procedure, for the awakening of the Ka, the Emerald Awakening Kundalini activation can be conducted. Your shields are up and your Triadic Phase 1 current is activated, so we'll begin immediately by the awakening of the Ka exercise and the release of the implants. If you're all sitting comfortably, we'll begin. Pardon me? What?
Secure for that exercise. Is that okay?
I'll activate it anyway. It's okay. Just do it with me quickly. Just close your eyes. Okay, imagine a green, silver and violet sphere at your heart center. Breathe in. Breathe out loudly and push it down to the earth's core.
Sorry?
To the earth's core. Do it again. Go on, quick. It's all right. It happens very fast. Bring it back up into your heart center. And when you breathe out, expand it all around you. Into your Maharic pillar. Okay? You're there. Okay, we begin by bringing your attention back to your Triadic sphere at the heart center. Just relax, breathe steadily and slowly. Allow your breathing rate to drop a little bit. When you're ready, take a good deep draw of pale silver frequency. Pull it up from the earth core. Deep breath. Pull it out vigorously. Expand the Triadic sphere. Exhale naturally. Repeat this a couple of times more. Real deep. Really pull the frequency up into your heart center. Expanding the Triadic sphere. Next, I'd like you to move both of your hands around your back in the area of your tailbone and just gently touch your fingertips on either side of the tailbone. As close to the tip, but either side of the tailbone. And once you're comfortably in position, draw deeply once more. Draw energy from the Maharic shield into the Triadic sphere. And as you exhale, push the pale silver energy down to the fingertips and into your tailbone. With deep breaths and vigorous exhales, repeat this 2 or 3 times more. Just relax and bring your hands back into your lap or wherever you had them before. Just breathe gently for a moment. And take your attention to your sacral chakra, your second chakra. Just take your attention to it. Take it to its center. Remember the bow tie. And go right there. Just breathe easily. And as you're breathing like this, and you're focused on your sacral, allow yourself to notice or feel the discovery of a double terminated quartz crystal. A crystal with a point at both ends. Just watch it there. And breathe easily. And as you're doing this, you notice that this double terminated quartz crystal is beginning to push out of your body. It's pushing out of your second chakra. Focus your attention on this and try to feel the crystal pushing. As you increase your focus on this pushing effect, the crystal wanting very much now to move forward, bring your hands up into the area of your second chakra, and in whatever way the crystal requires you to do, provide your assistance in easing it forward and out. Whatever way feels right for you, to provide assistance to this crystal that wants to leave your body. Please provide it. Draw it out and allow it to dissolve in the frequencies of your Maharic pillar, which it will do. Just very briefly bring your right palm over your sacral center. Cover it with your left hand. Gently draw frequency from the earth core and just push it through the right palm into the sacral. And then relax. You can move your attention now to your solar plexus, to your third chakra there. As you take your attention there, you notice too that there is a smaller double terminated crystal right at the center of that chakra. It has a relationship with the larger one, which has now been removed from your sacral chakra. As a result of the relationship between them, this smaller one will leave your body without further assistance, but you can provide it if you wish. But just watch as the smaller double terminated crystal begins to move forward out of your body to slowly dissolve in your Maharic pillar. And you may briefly, if you wish, place your right hand over your solar plexus covered by your left. Just draw energy gently. Move the energy gently into your solar plexus and then resume a relaxed position once more. And bring your attention up to your heart chakra. And imagine or visualize a little sphere, tiny sphere of energy which is colored green. Bring this little green sphere more fully into focus. If you can't visualize it, simply intend that your focus increases on this brilliant green, tiny sphere of energy. And you come to notice a little black cube of energy right in the center of this tiny green sphere. And as you continue to look closely at it, you notice that within the black cube there is a smaller white cube inside the black one. And just maintain intent focus on these. And simply by using the Maharic frequency you already carry and the Triadic Phase 1 current, the effects of these as you focus on the two little cubes, you feel a ripple of vibration as they merge together. And as they merge together, you may notice a little puff of smoke as they both instantly disappear. At this point, you have activated your body and are ready to open the fourth and first crystal seals, otherwise known as the Emerald Awakening. So return your attention now, please, to your Triadic sphere, the green, violet, silver ball at your heart center, and inhale deeply. On the exhale, visualize or imagine pushing a cord of green, violet, silver Triadic current down to the tailbone, down into the first cell at the very tip of your tailbone. And then breathe easy. Move your attention into your tailbone as well as you're able to. Intend your attention is going there. And what we're going to do is to visualize the first cell at the very tip of your tailbone. And you will see it, or intend it, or imagine it as a white silver sphere. As best as you're able, bring into focus now a white silver sphere, a tiny white silver sphere, right at the tip of your tailbone. Increase your focus, consider it intently, and as you do, you notice within the white silver sphere there is a smaller green sphere. As you focus increasingly on the green sphere inside of the white silver sphere, you see a red sphere inside of the green sphere. Satisfied that you've got them in focus, move your attention back to the sphere of green, violet, silver energy that you left at your heart center. I want you to inhale deeply, and on the out-breath, visualize or imagine sending a cord of green, violet, silver energy all the way down into the green sphere in the first cell at the tip of the tailbone. Draw Maharic frequency once more. Send it vigorously into the tailbone, and notice the green sphere pops into a starburst of pale green silver light. This has successfully opened the Kundalini seal, and your original white silver sphere and the tiny red sphere within it remain as you left them earlier. So return your awareness to the Triadic sphere at the heart center. Inhale and vigorously push a cord of green, violet, silver Triadic current down to the first cell at the tip of the tailbone, into the red sphere. Draw energy once more and push it into the red sphere again. And you will see this pop into a starburst of pale pink silver light. And for the next 2 or 3 breaths, I want you to draw energy up and push it down into the 12th chakra as pale pink silver light. Draw energy up and exhale into your 12th chakra, 6 inches below your feet, pale pink silver light. This successfully opens the key rocher seal so that we can then activate the sacred flames of the key rocher. Now the key rocher appears as 3 little flames which exist in the 12th chakra, positioned 6 inches below your feet. Each of the little flames are blue, yellow and violet. Pale blue turquoise, a beautiful very pale yellow and pale violet. Now I want you to begin focusing deeply on the 12th chakra, positioned 6 inches below your feet. And as well as you can imagine, visualize or imagine the 3 little flames that are held in the 12th chakra. I'll give you a few seconds to get comfortable with this. Do your best to visualize. If you can't, just really intend that they're there, because they truly are. In a second, we're going to perform the first of a sequence of 3 drawing breaths in which we will take 1 flame at a time all the way up the central column to the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown. So on the first inhale, I want you to draw the pale violet flame all the way up from chakra 12, all the way through the central vertical column, and all the way up and out through the top of your head to the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown chakra. So inhale. Draw the flame all the way up, out through the top of your head to the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown chakra. And when you're ready, then take your time, but when you're ready, return your attention to the 12th chakra, 6 inches below your feet. Allow yourself time to connect properly with the little pale yellow gold flame that's there. Just breathe easily. And in your own time, take a deep breath and draw the pale yellow gold flame all the way up from the 12th chakra, all the way up your vertical column, just like you've done. Out to the top of your head to the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown. In your own time, inhale. And for the third and final time, return your attention to the 12th chakra, 6 inches below your feet. Allow yourself a little time to connect with the pale blue flame. The pale blue flame is known as the flame of the inner arc of the covenant. Take your time to reconnect, and when you're ready, deep inhale and draw the pale blue flame all the way up from the 12th chakra, all the way to the central vertical column, out to the top of your head, to the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown. Breathe easy. Now bring to mind or visualize these 3 little flames you've successfully moved, sitting together within the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your crown. And in a moment we will create the key rocher sphere. And a sequence of drawing breaths and gentle out breaths. On the next inhale, when I tell you, draw pale silver energy from your personal Maharic shield 12 inches below your feet, all the way up your central vertical column, up into the 10th chakra. And when you exhale, exhale very gently. And then inhale once more, drawing pale silver energy up into the 10th chakra, until you build a sphere of pale silver light around the 3 little flames. Now you can take 2 or 3 breaths to do this. So on the next inhale, draw pale silver energy from your personal Maharic shield 12 inches below your feet, all the way up the central column, up into the 10th chakra. Fill the 10th chakra with pale silver energy, building a sphere around the three little flames, the blue, the pale yellow, and the violet. Once you've built your sphere of pale silver light around the flames, just breathe easy. Now the next stage will involve us taking a fairly deep breath and a fairly vigorous out breath, which will be used to move the Ki-Rache sphere all the way down through the central column, out through the 12th chakra 6 inches below your feet, all the way down to the Earth's core. Now when we do this, there is an interaction between the sphere that you've created and Earth's core, which will involve sound tones. These may be transmitted telepathically rather than orally, but please listen out for them as you do it. So, in your own time, inhale, and on the exhale, move the Ki-Rache sphere all the way down through the 12th chakra to the Earth's core. And breathe easy as you listen for these sound tones with your inner ear. These tones are the Amenti pass key, which opens your personal Gruel point, the first cell in the tailbone, which releases the Ki-Rache flames into your auric field. Breathe gently and allow the presence of the Ki-Rache flames to become apparent to you. The pale blue, pale yellow, pale violet flames are rising up your Maharic pillars, rising up your pillar and emerging through your first cell, passing like radiating waves, not just one after the other, but combining, dancing, moving through your first cell. And these waves of color continue to move up through your pillar, moving up through your first 4 chakras in particular, the base, the sacral, the solar plexus, and the heart. Watch as these colors, the original flames, dance through your energy fields and through your physical body. And as they do this, visualize or imagine each chakra, each of the first 4 chakras, emanate a silver Maharic sheath or an oval pod. In other words, the chakra becomes surrounded with silvered light mixed with the 3 pale colors. The pod surrounds all of this. Well, this completes the Emerald Awakening. This stage of the process in which we've triggered our Christed selves, and now we move on to establishing the link to the Amethyst Awakening, the process of activation and sheathing of the higher chakras. So we begin this element by activating the Ra center in the thyroid and anchoring the rainbow bridge. So if you would please move your attention to the area of your third eye. Bring your focus just inside your forehead, a little above and behind your eyebrows, breathing easily. And in that space, the place we call your third eye, visualize or imagine a dark silver dot in the position you're focused on. Just take a little time to increase definition either of intention or visual quality. A dark silver dot. Now inhale quite strongly and move the dark silver dot into the pineal gland in the center of your head, and then immediately up through the crown chakra until the dark silver dot sits on the top of your skull. On the next in-breath, pull deeply pale silver energy from your personal Maharic shield 12 inches below your feet, all the way up your central vertical current into the dark silver dot on the top of your head. And draw a deep breath all the way up. And as the pale silver energy reaches the dark silver dot, the dot pops into a silver starburst. On the next exhale, push the silver starburst down the central channel all the way to the tip of your tailbone. Expand the silver starburst fully into the first cell as you do this. Just breathe easily and watch as gold silver current begins to emerge from your tailbone and begins to flow up through each chakra. From the first chakra at the base of the spine up through the sacral. Just watch them as they progress up through the solar plexus, flowing all the way up to the crown chakra. We'll allow a little time. The fountain of gold silver energy continues to bubble strongly and steadily from the first cell in the tailbone, helping to push the gold silver current all the way up through the chakras, all the way up to the crown chakra. And there it continues upward at the top of your head. Moves on up through the 10th chakra, 6 inches above your head. It continues to move up through the 11th chakra, 18 inches above your head. And reaches up to the 14th chakra, filling the 14th chakra 36 inches above your head. And as you see it fill and glow silver gold in the 14th chakra, you watch as the momentum of the energy continues to bubble through that chakra and all through the system. And the silver gold energy begins to move back, returning to the first chakra slowly. And the effect of this flow creates a gold-silver sheath throughout your entire central vertical channel. And as the flow returns towards the first chakra, bring your attention with it. Bring your attention as far as the second chakra. And here we're going to create a gold-silver ball in the seed seal at the center of that chakra. Now just imagine or visualize the chakra as a bow tie shape. The seed seal that we're working with is the narrow point in the middle. And the gold-silver ball is called the Triadic sphere. Now I want you to take a good deep in-breath. Draw gold-silver current this time. Draw gold-silver current from the gold-silver sheath that runs throughout your system. And exhale gold-silver current into the center of your second chakra. And as you exhale, create and expand the ball. Draw a second breath of gold-silver current. Exhale and expand the ball until you fully surround the bow tie shape of your sacral chakra. Now what we're going to do with this ball on the next inhale is we're going to move this gold-silver ball up to the first Hara center, which is 2 inches below the navel, the position of the 9th silver star signet seal, or Tan Tien. And when we exhale, we will do so gently, allowing the ball to expand. So on the next in-breath, draw breath moderately and move the gold-silver ball up to a position 2 inches below the navel. Breathe out gently, allowing the ball to expand. On the next inhale, move the gold-silver ball up to the solar plexus and exhale gently once more, allowing the ball to expand a little more. On the next inhale, move the gold-silver ball up to the heart center and breathe out gently again. Now after the next inhale, we're going to exhale very forcefully, and we're going to push cords of gold-silver current down each arm and into the palms. This will activate the Triadic Phase 3 current. So inhale deeply, draw more gold-silver current into the ball at the heart center, and exhale forcefully. Push the cords of gold-silver current down each arm and into your palms. Bring your fingertips together, not touching but an inch or so apart, and see if you can sense and feel the fuzzy presence of the Triadic Phase 3 current that you just activated in your palm chakras. You are now able to run current from dimension 4 through dimension 8. In this way, you're enabled to activate and anchor the rainbow bridge in yourself and in others. And so to complete this process, we move into the initiation of the Amethyst Awakening. And this technique works to bring in a burst of the Kundalini, a Katic blue frequency, which sets the Amethyst Awakening in motion. So return your attention, please, to the center of your brain, at your pineal gland. Take a moment or two to bring to mind a pale violet spark of light. And what you're looking at there, this pale violet spark of light, is the lower portion, the bottom of the seal of your own 7th crown chakra. Now imagine that you're going to move this pale violet spark of light straight up into your 10th chakra, 6 inches above your head. And in preparation, imagine your 10th chakra as a disc of light but blue-black sapphire. So it's emanating light from a very, very deep, deep blue. And take your focus fully into this disc of light that's deep blue. And as you gaze upon it, notice it takes on a violet hue. Slight coloration of violet begins to become evident. Try to feel it there. This small, horizontal, blue-black disc comprising your 10th chakra, 6 inches above your head. Noticing the violet hue moving as if there's a sort of a mist within it, just moving through the blue-blackness of it. Now, at your 14th chakra, you're actually holding there, as a result of your work with the Maharic shield, a 24-pointed Hierophant. It's already sitting there at your 14th chakra, 36 inches above your head. On an inhale, coming up, you're going to move this disc, this blue-black-violet disc of light, up to that 24 points star at the 14th chakra. And then on the exhale, you'll move it down through the 10th chakra, down through the crown, down through the central vertical current, down through your personal Maharic shield, all the way to the Earth's core. So, on the inhale, move this disc of violet sapphire light up to the 24-point silver star at the 14th chakra. And on the exhale, move them down through the 10th chakra, all the way through the central vertical current down to the Earth's core. As you do this, a whole series of violet-blue sparks will begin flying out from the planetary Maharic shield, as if they were alive, as if electrical communication is taking place. Notice as this happens, the energy flowing up to your Maharic pillar from the Earth core, reflecting this change as violet-blue energy begins to move slowly up towards you. Again, the idea of a fog carrying these colours, amorphous but distinct, moving ever further towards you. As the energy reaches your personal Maharic shield, notice that the same thing recurs, that the violet blue sparks phenomena seems to be happening again. It's like each drift of this mist, this violet blue mist, is coming into contact with some part of your own shields, and as they do this, it's as if communication takes place, throwing out showers of violet blue sparks, little zits of sparkly, silvery, violet blue light, all communicating with each other, all addressing each other as mathematical instructions about what to do with your body, about what to do with your crystal seals, about what to do with your chakras. The aliveness and intelligence of your creation in this exercise is bringing this process fully into being. Now slowly and gently begin to move your awareness to the Maharic sheath, the pale silver skin which surrounds your body and your etheric body. And be aware too of the main vertical current that you brought the pale silver cord through. And at the same time, on each upcoming inhale, bring up the pale silver violet sapphire energy simultaneously from your Maharic shield to infuse the pale silver skin all around you. So in your own time, start to inhale quite deeply. Drawing up and through and around the pale silver cord, drawing pale silver, violet, sapphire energy. Up from your Maharic shield, infusing and colouring the pale silver skin, which lies outside of you and within you. Continue to draw the energy, the frequencies up into your pillar. And as you continue to draw the energy, you will find that each of these will work independently at different speeds, at different rates, at different levels of fullness. Will move up through the lower chakras. Approaching the solar plexus, infusing and filling you completely with beautiful pale silver violet sapphire energy. And when all of them reach the heart chakra, you will have a very distinct sensation that there they will begin to expand and multiply. They continue to expand and develop, to encase and infuse you moving all the way up to the 14th chakra. As they move, expanding and filling every chakra on their way, every one overflowing with pale silver, violet, sapphire energy. Each chakra responds in its own way. Some sending out sparks, others spiraling bursts of silver, violet, sapphire, backwards and forwards, working through both sides of the chakras until they all shift. You have all successfully initiated a process with your own D12 Christos avatar identity that will work with you now to slowly release the Kundalini activation frequencies through which the amethyst awakening will progressively unfold in the DNA template, activating the fire codes 7, 10 and 12. This process can be naturally and safely accelerated by receiving level 3 Melchizedek Cloister Regent ordinations. When you're ready, bring yourself fully back into the room and open your eyes. There's no need to say anything, is there? Without rushing you into practicalities too quickly, our schedule was now to make this completion with you. Really, I wanted so much to complete in this way so that you would have time, an hour, hour and a half to spend with, as it were, yourselves, in whatever way you chose to do. I know it's a very moving technique, and I meant that literally as well as figuratively. So now is time to take a 90-minute break to use in any way you choose, quietly, introspectively, or however else. It's 6 o'clock now, exactly. So we're going to reconvene at 7:30. And from 7:30, we're going to think of something.
No. Bless you all for not beaming out of here during that. Is that one tough or what? Yeah. Fortunately, it only needs to be done one time, and that will allow your system to open to use the Vecca codes that are coming tonight. What's kind of fun, when we get back from our dinner break, we're going to get into the Kathara Level 2 stuff, which is Merkaba healing. We're going to get into the beginnings of Merkaba science, and we're going to sing, and we're going to dance, which becomes really fun. I'm serious, too. So at some point, we're going to have to clear chairs for when we do the salutations. Yep. All right? These are the beginnings of some very, very exciting technologies. They're the beginnings of what's called the Dance of Life program that we're going to be introducing, I believe, in March in Sarasota. It's going to be a book also, and I believe a tape program, a videotape program. Yeah. We're going to learn a little bit about what that is tonight, and we're going to learn the beginning codes the Vecca codes, what they are, why they're important, and why they have the power to flip over the miasmic body faster than anything else when they're used with the Kathara Healing Techniques, Merkaba mechanics, and the Vecca codes themselves. So we're going to have a really interesting evening. The people, is there anybody that's not coming back this evening? Oh, okay. Well, do you know when we're picking up the paper, when it's done? When are they done?
Well, on this break, we're picking them up.
Okay. The people that aren't going to come back,
Can
there's...
organise getting them the papers?
Yeah, I want to make sure you get the paperwork that goes with tonight, because even if you're not here to participate with us, these are things you can do when you get home. So I don't want you to, be shortchanged on that, because they're they're really important. So Monica, can you help arrange that? Okay. All righty. So when we get back, I will try not to keep you here forever this evening, but this is the exciting stuff. This is the new stuff that's going to come through. We're going to go through the beginning introduction to Kathara Level 2, which we've had since the Ireland trip. That was last year, right? Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Don't mind me in time. But then we're going to integrate that into a very powerful healing system where we use Kathara, we use Merkaba healing, and we use what is called radial body healing. We're going to learn about the radial body, and this stuff was on security clearance for a very long time, because when we start to understand the radial body, we start to understand the transduction sequence, which is the manifestation sequence. We find out where our thoughts fit into this pattern. We find out why we end up things coming up upside down, and who knows what you're going to manifest when you try to manifest something. And we're going to learn how we can use the Vecca codes, the Merkaba technologies, and the Kathara healing technologies to begin getting control of our manifestation process by clearing the miasmic body, or the phantom, the shadow. So it's going to be fun, and we're going to learn it together because the other half of Kathara Level 2 was literally just given to us. So I'm going to be like reading it and then reading it to you and saying, okay, what does this mean? And so far it makes sense to me, so I'm pretty sure I can teach it well. There's two things I forgot to point out about the ordination. About the ordinations. They're good things, though. The one thing is, it's important for us that you understand that if you get an ordination through Azurite Temple, the Melchizedek Cloister, that doesn't mean you're bound indelibly to us. It's not like some organizations where you have to renounce all affiliations with other things and pledge your loyalty to this temple or anything. You don't have to do that. In fact, we have people all over the place at this point, like internationally, that some are Catholic, some are Jewish people. The only persons I don't think we've ever had is a Muslim person. I don't think I've ever spoken to Muslim people. They probably don't want to hear what I have to say, but. It's not a situation where you have to give up any affiliation that you do have. Because one of the things we teach, these are the freedom teachings, which means we acknowledge that every belief system, no matter how much the books have been played with, no matter how much distortion might be in it, there are still grains of truth. So what we suggest is for people to explore everything, be a part of where you feel you want to be a part of, and realize that belief systems and religions and things like that are stages of growth. And eventually you get to the point where you don't need a religion, because you are the religion inside yourself. You have the direct connection to Source. So the first thing I wanted you to know, that you don't have to make any kind of weird vows to us. There's a vow involved in the ordination process that is not to us, it's to your own Christos self. It's just simply you're making a promise that you're willing to work with the Christos energies with your own self. It's not to any archangel, it's not to anybody but you, yourself, and you. So if you decide to change that agreement, it's between you, yourself, and you. We don't regulate you as ministers. We don't do anything like that. We simply serve as the vessel through which your avatar can send the frequencies down early. It helps you along in the evolutionary path. The other thing, there's one more thing. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention, I don't usually mention, but since we talked about before how some people are actually incarnating out of the Draconian matrix or the Reptilian matrix or the Anunnaki matrix, and they don't know it any more than anybody else knows where they came from down here. And it doesn't mean they're bad. We talked about that. There is an advantage to people who are souls incarnating from those matrices, because the fallen angelic matrices severed their connections to the D12 frequencies a long time ago. They don't have those imprints in their templates. So when a being incarnates out of one of those matrices, they are missing the 12-strand template. They just don't have it. They don't have the Christos template. So when they get an ordination, they get the template reset. So they have the ability to begin to evolve it. Where before the fact, they didn't have the template that could be activated. If they're a person that's out of a draconian matrix or a reptilian matrix, they only have 10-strand templates, and most of the codes are in reverse mathematical sequence. If it's an Anunnaki matrix, the highest they have is an 11.5 reverse matrix. So another advantage I just wanted to point out, and it'll help you probably more, not for your own personal selves here, but for people you may encounter as you get into Kathara healing and have clients and things like that. Some of them may be interested in what you do as a minister, and they might be interested in having you ordain them. You could be doing them a favor. If there's somebody that is a draconian person who really wants to do the Christos path, they have a disadvantage genetically coming in because they don't have the 12th strand. So simply doing even a level 1 ordination will give them that potential back. That's one of the reasons it's here. That's one of the reasons for literally 560 million years, the founders' races have run the Melchizedek cloister through all different systems in this time matrix. So I wanted you to have those two parts that I forgot to mention before. The most important one is that you don't owe us anything. This is not a control dogma. And your free will and your right to be a part of whatever you want to be a part of is always respected and will always be respected. And we will never tell you, don't read that, don't be near that person. We'll always tell you, explore. Run your Maharic seal, hold your frequencies and integrity, and you can go explore anything, read everything, find out more, grow, expand. So that's the kind of place that we're coming from, and I wanted to make that clear. Okay? You had a question?
Yeah, could that create a bridge with the Draconian could it create a bridge so that the rest of the race could get to, say, 12 year or whatever, you know what I mean?
This is part of what is going on. We'll probably talk more about that in the Templar workshop, because what we're doing in the Templar workshop is we're getting into history that shows how we got to where we are. It gets into the history of the fallen angelic matrices as well, and how that's translating into the contemporary drama, because it's a huge part of it. There are race Bio-Regenesis programs going on right now, where there are new hybrid type consciousness coming into human form in order to get out of those fallen angelic matrices. This was tried in Atlantean times, and they ended up getting in too far and took over. And that's being reversed now. But the ones who have always tried to be loyal to the Christos principles are getting new opportunities. So every time we assist a person that comes in with a draconian imprint and decides as a person, as a human, they want to be on the Christos path, they get their 12th strand back. When they go off and have children, their children will have the 12th strand template. So every time this is passed on, it helps to heal those fallen angelic matrices, giving them a potential to evolve back into the Christos. Okay. And we'll get on with the ordinations now. We're going to do indirect induction, by the way, because there's so many people with you here till the next workshop.
When's that?
Next weekend? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? You asked that?
It was a good question. It sounded like I was being silly. Okay, people. This is, as Ashana has said to you, this is a time for you. So if you come into a place where you're as connected as you can feel you're connected with yourself, because this is something that you're going to do with yourself, and we're just here to help you. The ordination procedure of the rabbini is referred to as the consecration of the temple. And these words are words that we will share with you, and they're words that you're going to share with yourself, for yourself. And you repeat them line by line after me. If there's anything that you don't like the sound of, by all means don't say it. Okay? Because time is short, I would normally read the whole thing through, but it's quite long. So as you hear me say what I'm saying, before you repeat it, just determine whether you want to say it or not. Okay? So, after me. From the central light from which we all emerge.
From the central light from which we all emerge.
Let this light flow through me now.
Let this light flow through me now.
And fill my parts that were once made empty.
And fill my parts that were once made empty.
with the wholeness of divine right order.
with the wholeness of divine right order.
On this day, I shall consecrate my vessel.
On this day, I shall consecrate my vessel,
Filled full with the light and sound
filled full with the light and sound
of the eternal divine.
of the eternal divine.
Today, I designate my body
Today, I designate my body
as a temple of the living light.
as the temple of the living light,
And I shall open my mind, eyes, and heart
and I shall open my mind, eyes, and heart
to the one true divinity that I am.
to the one true divinity that I am.
I am a face of the one true God.
I am a face of the one true God.
I am a light to the world.
I am a light to the world.
May all things of lesser order
May all things of lesser order
be banished now from my temple.
be banished now from my temple.
Let all but the highest order of love,
Let all but the highest order of love,
peace, compassion, forgiveness,
peace, compassion, forgiveness,
and charity, creativity, and power
and charity, creativity, and power